I was thinking it might be a little confusing watching photography YouTubers because I think we kind of mix and match by mistake the categories of photography YouTube channels that are out there. And I think if you accidentally, if you're going in for certain kinds of information, if you're watching a variety of these people, it might get easy to get confused. And so I was just going to walk through, with no judgment, the 4 different types of YouTube photography channels, including where I sit, and what you can expect from each of these and how you can benefit from anything from any of them. First off, I'd say as gear photographers, right? These are the ones that every single episode is, this company sent me this lens. I am going to review it. They gave it to me for free, but they did not see this video and they blah, 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 right? You've heard this so many times. So gear reviewers, guess what? They review gear and they say this incredible Voigtlander Nocton 50 millimeter f1.2. This is the best lens for these reasons, but there are a few things wrong with it. You can start to watch and get a sense of what each of these videos is going to be like. They're going to tell you something at the intro that's going to make you want to stay for a little longer because they are compensated on length of view. They're compensated on ad revenue. That's how they make their money. Gear reviewers make their money off you enjoying their reviews of gear. And the people who send them gear are benefiting from the community that person's been able to cultivate, and the fact that everyone trusts them more or less to be honest about their opinions. And there's an ethical thing that goes around a lot of times where people are like, well, how can you be honest if you get something for free? I have received things for free, and I have been paid to make videos in the past and other content in the past. It's easy to be ethical. You have to disclose. That is important, especially in the United States where that is an absolute rule that you have to do. It's the FTC requires you to disclose any kinds of paid experiences or sponsorships or anything like that. It doesn't mean that someone's not going to be ethical or anything like that. So that's gear reviewers. They're fine. That's what they do. But when you come to them, and this is the important part of the video for you, and we'll do this 3 more times. When you come to them, you have to understand that they are compensated to show you the newest, latest, greatest, best thing. They are not compensated to tell you what you have is probably good enough. What they are not compensated to tell you is there's no real reason for you to buy this thing. It just happens to be really good. Now, also, when they make these reviews, even though they say that the company has no real stake in what the person says, if you review someone's stuff all the time and always trash it and always say mean things, it's less likely that someone's going to send you gear to review. And if you don't have gear to review, you don't have anything to make your videos about. So, you have to compensate for that. You have to accept the fact that they're going to say mostly nice things about anything they receive, even if it's a bit of junk for one reason or another. And you have to do a little bit of your own thinking and observing and planning and try to decide. That's gear reviewers. The next group are people who are doing photography education. These are people like Tatiana Hopper, Developing Tank. There's all kinds of people who do incredible videos who are just there to educate you. And they make their money on YouTube through views as well, but they don't have to show you a specific product to do it. They want to show you incredible people from the past, or incredible people that might inspire you to look differently at your own photography. Or they're showing you modern things like techniques or editing and that sort of a thing. So there's gear review, there's education. Education is an incredible, not that either is good or bad, but education is an incredible resource because you know that they're not sitting around trying to come up with biased reasons why you should purchase a product. They just want you to enjoy the effort of making photos. And you can get a lot from those kinds of people. There's so many people, so many channels out there doing versions of this. It's definitely worth it. Not that gear reviews aren't worth it. I feel like I have to keep stating this because what I don't want you to do is say, oh man, Brogan was saying this one's better than that one. That's not what I'm saying. The third group of people are people who are here for entertainment more than anything else. So Camera Conspiracies, Camera Noob, April, one of the fastest up and coming people I see making stuff. I'd say Peter McKinnon now falls into more like entertainment, although he does a lot of gear review stuff as well. People who through what they're doing, you're just there for the entertainment experience of it, not just the gear. And I think that they can be fun for a whole lot of other reasons, especially when you start paying enough attention to enough YouTube channels that someone like April at Camera Noob calls out some of the humor that you could see if you observe enough of these channels. I think that those kinds of people who are there for entertainment and just there to kind of make you have fun, that's an exciting category as well. You have to realize too, though, that that's part of the process. I think, for instance, Casey at Camera Conspiracies, he's a great counterweight. Even though he also does gear reviews, he's a great counterweight to the straight gear review crowd, because even if he's given gear to review, he'll kind of make some fun of it. The sorts of things he's going after. It gives you that sort of feeling. And then group 4 are people who are puttering, who don't otherwise care, or maybe are still trying to find their way. I'm group 4. These people are not steering you towards entertainment as such, although I think of my videos as you and me hanging out. I've received the nicest compliment a couple of 3 days ago. Someone said, I don't care what you talk about. You sound soothing. You make me feel good. I like to push play. You make me feel like, it's just the two of us hanging out. I'll take it. If that's the only reason you're subscribed to me, great. I don't anticipate ever being a primarily gear review site. I don't do enough research to be on the education side of this. I am just here to enjoy my time with you. Oh, and I'm not funny enough to be entertainment. I'm funny, but I'm a lot more funny situationally. But the putterers, the people who are kind of figuring out, the people who are still sort of at the other side of their journey, who are usually sub 5,000, sometimes sub 1,000 in subscriptions. We're here to kind of enjoy everything, right? So mine, if I had a thesis for the channel, it's getting you off of your device and out of your day-to-day misery and just getting into taking some photos, using something where you can focus through focusing, right? That's the goal. The goal is, can you use a camera to get in a different mindset, get your thoughts and ideas together, and will that help you move forward? Photography as meditation. If I were doing this to make some money, I picked the worst possible niche. What do you have to sell anyone for meditation? What, a meditation app? I mean, they have those, but you can go to YouTube and say, I want 10-minute silent meditation, or 10-minute just tone meditation or something, or 20 minutes or whatever. And that's all you get. Boom, you're done. So you don't need to buy anything to meditate. I do recommend you buy a camera if you're going to do photography as meditation, but it could be cheap. It could be the Sony a6000, my little baby. You don't have to buy much of anything. You could buy something for $100, $200 and get on. CampSnap Pro is about $100. That's a great little silly camera that you could buy right now for about $100, and it's just what it is. It's about as good as a disposable camera, but it's digital, and you can have some fun with that. Get the Pro, not the older one, because the Pro just is that much better that you'll enjoy it more. There you go. Now I'm a gear guy, except I'm not sponsored. So when I want to talk to you about this, the reason I want to talk to you about this is when you go to these places for advice or thoughts or insight or anything, you have to understand where you are before you can understand what to consider about those reviews. So for instance, I needed an inexpensive autofocus small lens around the 40 millimeter or 50 millimeter focus length. This is the Samyang 45 millimeter f1.8 autofocus, very inexpensive plasticky lens. When I went and looked at reviews of this lens from all the kinds of people who do gear reviews, they spoke fairly glowingly about it. But as I listened more and listened more and listened more, they did point out the things that I thought might be worth knowing. So for instance, it has autofocus, and Sony's autofocus is kind of the best in the world, but this lens has a sort of medium quality autofocus. It doesn't focus as fast as other much more expensive lenses. This lens is only like a $200 lens, $230 lens. Not amazing. Oh, but when I decided, well, maybe I should get a zoom kind of a lens, because every now and again I go into a situation where I really need a little more range, that Icelandic guy recommended the Tamron 28 to 200 lens, because he said it's small enough, like I'm holding the whole lens right now, and when you extend it, it almost doubles. Almost doubles, but it's generally small. It's a reasonable aperture. It's 2.8 to 5.6, and I needed a zoom. When I looked at that, when I saw his review, he said he has G Master lenses. So he was comparing that to what was good and bad about them compared to $2,000 lenses. I don't remember how much that was. I think I got it for $500. When you go to a gear site or a gear review YouTube channel, you need to pay attention to what you need and why you need it and bring that to it. What you can't do is kind of go in there blank slate. You've got to pay attention to what you feel you need and why you feel you need it. Otherwise, you can run some risks. When you go to an education site of course channel, you're going to find that you just feel good. When you go to an entertainment one, same thing. You're just there to enjoy yourself. None of these things. Oh, you know what kind of falls in between education and entertainment and sort of puttering? Are people who are lifestyle photographers who go out and just do it because it's part of their identity. There are especially younger people who go out because they just want to be known as that person who always has their camera with them. I'm not trashing them either. Sounds like I am. I'm not. I think that, again, you have to approach this from what do you want and how does it apply to you. Where I sit and who I am for you is someone that just wants to help you find a way to take a break in between everything else and snap a few snaps. chris@chrisbrogan.com. Drop me an email. I have not received an email from someone in a minute. It's your turn. And then, as I always want to tell you in between, be good to yourself.